Xbox One and PS4 on May 25th. So the Switch version is set to release in the summer of 2018. No specific release date, but that is the release window for the Switch version of Dark Souls Remastered.
So you won't be able to play on the go anytime soon.
Well, summer is pretty soon. Time goes by fast.
Time goes by fast.
Once you get to my age, time is just like
rolls right by you.
It's gone. That also includes the Solera Vestora amiibo. Of course, you wouldn't want to buy the amiibo without the game or not having the game. So that is also
it would
delayed.
be wrong for them to just like give the amiibo early and be like, "All right, guys, it's coming though.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Like, trust me, you got the amiibo, so it's on the way."
And then it never comes. Everybody has the amiibo. They get really mad.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah,
but that amiibo's dope because it does praise the sun. If y'all are
pretty cool.
If y'all into the Dark Souls like I kind of am, it's cute. So the reason for the delay has not been stated. Would you want to pull up some B-roll while I run my mouth?
Sorry, we actually do have some footage here of Dark Souls on Switch, so it is playable. We know it exists.
Yeah, it's
we've touched it.
They're not trying to snake us. So the reason why it's been delayed has not been stated. And I imagine that's just mainly because of like refinements and making sure you ship a perfectly fine version of the game. Yeah. So that's understandable. But again, they haven't said exactly why it's been delayed. Now, a couple technical details for the Switch version is that when it's docked, it'll be at 1080p, running up to 30 FPS. Not locked, but capped at 30 FPS. So that's a important distinction to make.
It's different than the other versions in that way.
Yeah, because the Dark Souls Remastered on the other consoles have some specific or higher resolutions and better frame rates, but this is the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
But when you take it on the go, portable, like you are seeing right here, it'll run 720p, up to 30 FPS, which is pretty dope. Could you scroll back up?
Sorry.
It's all good. We're Sam, this is Sam's first time officially on the show.
Yes. I've done this once before you guys knew that we were doing this, and so I'm a bit rusty here.
It's all right. This is Sam's first time, so take it easy on her. But yes, Dark Souls on Switch. So that's what's up.
If you're gonna praise the sun, you can praise it this summer.
Oh, hey. Sun's out, guns out. So. Yeah, the full list of changes for Dark Souls Remastered is on GameSpot.com, so you can get all that information there. One of the cool things about the remastered version is that it supports up to 6 players online instead of 4 players from the original version, so that's pretty dope. And other changes like a new bonfire and different controls for selecting and using items. So there's technical refinements on the control front as well as the visual front. So Dark Souls Remastered is looking pretty dope. I want to get into this because I played the PC version. The PC version was rough.
Was it? Wait.
Yeah.
When did you play it?
This was like 2012. It came out, I think, 2011.
Yeah.
I might be tripping. Maybe 2000.
It's okay. You're old. You're an old man, Michael. It's okay if you don't remember the exact time frame.
But I did play it.
I believe you. I
promise you I played it. Okay.
So you're excited to get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll be picking up Dark Souls. I don't know if I'm about that life. Like it's a rough life to be a Dark Souls fan.
It is.
And I mean, it's like not even that the game is that intimidating, because I know that there's like this everybody says the Dark Souls is like the equivalent of it's a hard game, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like what it's always used as a comparison. And I don't think I'm intimidated by the gameplay. I just know it's super grindy, and it's basically like just figuring out patterns. It's just like a pattern puzzle of fighting.
Easier said than done.
You're
In the wise words of Eric Tay, he says, "Get good."
Get good.
He's our resident.
Look, I just don't believe my ability to get good at Dark Souls. I'm just kidding.
That makes one of us.
I might have to pick it up though, because I am really into my Switch, and I just always something new to play.
Yeah, Switch is dope. Intense games like Dark Souls coming to Switch, it looks good for the platform.
It does.
So that's exciting, but you're gonna have to wait a little. Again, the story of the day is that Dark Souls Remastered for the Switch only, is delayed till summer of this year.
But all the other versions
still May 25th.
May 25th. Okay. Sorry about flipping that in the beginning.
No.
I was like, wait, are they all getting pushed back? I got I got myself.
No, ma'am.
Something I am actually genuinely very excited about is the PUBG Savage map is back. You can play it again today and tomorrow. The testing, they had testing, was not, I don't think last week, but the week before for the Savage map.
Yes.
I took part of that beta and I was very excited. It's a smaller map. It's about half the size of the original. And it's just, it's faster. The circle closes in quicker. There's hot loot, and you're forced into these very close combat fights right away. So in this second beta, they are going to be adding new areas. There's the Banyan Grove, and the Abandoned Quarry.
Yes.
In the middle of the map. There's a dock in the southeast section, which features a tower, crane, and 2 large ships. And those images are all in the article. They did tease
some. You want to take a look at that real quick?
Yeah, they did tease some of these new areas of the map. In the first beta, you could tell that it was not finished.
Of course.
You could really tell. Even all the little huts and everything were really barren. There was nothing inside them but the loot. And I don't know if that's like something that they're going to change. But you could tell that there was a lot more to come. So I'm really excited to jump back in there and see some of the new areas that they are going to have available. Another change that they're implementing is the blue zone now calculates and adjusts its waiting time based on the number of players left alive.
Ooh,
so
yeah,
it's going to be a little different.
If I recall correctly, I think H1Z1 did does something similar to that, where instead of a fixed time frame in which the blue deadly zone closes in, it's relative to the amount of players. So that's a nice little change of pace. But
it is.
when things is intense, I'm just paying attention to whether or not it's closing in on me. But this is a slight change. So if everyone's just chilling out, hanging out, not wanting to pull up and shoot you down, you pretty much chill for a little while. But there's no specifics on the way in which it's calculated and when it moves. So that's kind of a mystery, just knowing that they have changed the way in which it does move. So that is something that is different about this round of testing for Codename Savage.
Definitely. Another thing is that they're doing differently is the red zone is now smaller and lasts for less time. I think it's because the red zone was pretty big given the size of the map in the first run, and it was really scary.
I think they should just get rid of the red zone altogether. That shit's whack.
You know what? I agree with you. I've only been killed by the red zone once, and it felt really stupid when I got killed by the red zone because I hadn't so many times before. I was like, this red zone's silly. I'm not going to die. And then you die like that 1 out of 100 times, and you're like, wow, really? Really?
Yeah,
really? Okay.
I'm always like hesitant, like, hey, let's stay inside, let's not go outside. But then Nick, who you can see here in the bottom left of our little B-roll here, he's always like, dude, I'm just gonna drive through. It doesn't matter. We're not gonna get hit. And every time he does that, we don't get hit. And I'm just like, okay. Now I'm a little less anxious to get into the red zone. But one time, I swear, I was playing with Jake. I think it was me, Nick, and Jake. We're playing, and the original map. And we were in the red zone by the cliff, so there was we couldn't get into a building.
Yeah, there was nothing.
So we were just like, we just crossed our fingers, said, "Oh man, let's make sure we don't get hit by this." So Jake was crawling. I was gonna go res him. So as I was running up to him, a bomb dropped straight up on his body, and I saw my friend Jake die right before my eyes.
So you have personal reasons to want to get rid of this zone. It seems like you've been through some things.
No more red zones, please. I saw the worst of it. And I don't want to see that again.
So, they're smaller in this new one. So I don't think we're going to see the goodbye to the red zone anytime soon, but they will be smaller in the second beta. Another change they're making is boats will spawn less often around the map, while seaside towns will see them more consistently. So that makes sense. I mean, boats are supposed to be where boats go, I guess.
Sure.
Weather now changes more dynamically throughout the match instead of just the previous one. And another thing that they're fixing is an issue with footsteps making the wrong sound has been resolved. I hadn't noticed that, but I'm happy to hear that problem has been eradicated because that seems not fair. Can you imagine if like footsteps were making the sound of like rustling of the bushes or something? Like
that's weird.
It just seems not okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not good enough for footsteps are very important. I'm well aware of the effect of footsteps in these games.
Extremely important. Extremely. So anyway, yeah, if you guys are wanting to take a part of the beta for the new Savage map, now's your time, today and tomorrow. We actually have a giveaway on the site for beta codes going on right now. So if you're watching this, those are still available.
Yes, and again, like I said at the beginning of this stream, we will be streaming PUBG Codename Savage right after the show.
Yes.
And Tay, your boy Kuya Tay, will be giving out some codes on that stream. So I don't know who else is on that, but stick around because it's going to be fun. It's always fun.
It's always fun.
All right. We're going to get into something a little bit more meaty here that kind of hits close to me because I am a big Mass Effect fan.
I did not know this about you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody knows you're a big Yakuza fan.
And Persona
and
fan.
A Persona fan.
But
He's got
Mass
the
Effect,
tattoo.
Don't.
So this... okay. He's embarrassed.
No, it's tight. But Mass Effect is also one of the franchises that I deeply love. And a lot of us here, too, deeply love.
Yes.
Such as Jake. But Andromeda, to say the least, was a disappointment for us.
Most people.
And... BioWare's GM Casey Hudson has come out and talk about Mass Effect Andromeda's lack of DLC and the focus on Anthem. So
and how it altered their perspective in a big way about how they approach games and developing DLC.
Real quick, Casey Hudson he's a big name in terms of BioWare's history. He was the director of the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And he was also a big lead for the original Mass Effect trilogy. Then he had left after Mass Effect 3, and then he came back to BioWare in 2017 after the release of Andromeda to kind of more or less help right the ship over at BioWare. But yes, he has come out and talked about why there hasn't been Mass Effect DLC and how that's affected Anthem, which is the next project from BioWare. So, if you want to hit that hot B-roll of Anthem real quick, and we're going to give you some quotes directly from Casey Hudson himself.
Yes.
So, he said that being unable to deliver was as frustrating for them as it was for the players. So, verbatim, he said that experience ultimately became a defining moment in refocusing BioWare's mission. We need to delight players with new experiences and innovation, but we must stay focused on the importance of the world, character, and storytelling elements that players expect from our games. And our games must be designed to continue delivering new stories and experiences in an ongoing relationship with players in worlds we're evolving together. Do you want to get the second one?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, hearing that and then looking at the second part of his, or thinking about the second part of his blog post, it seems like they're taking a lot of that sentiment and trying to make that an important part of developing Anthem. He goes on to say, it's in that spirit that we are working through production on Anthem, a game designed to create a whole new world of story and character that you can experience with friends in an ongoing series of adventures. It will be unlike anything you've played, but we will do it right. It will feel very distinctly BioWare. So it seems like the overarching thing here is that they want to take the lessons that they learned from their experience with Mass Effect Andromeda and really consider those in the development of Anthem.
Yeah. And I also believe that, for BioWare, it makes sense for them to not go back to something that more or less didn't hit with fans.
Right.
Like, instead of trying to do DLC or trying to resurrect Mass Effect Andromeda with story DLC, like, we still don't know what happened with the Quarian ship in Mass Effect Andromeda. Did they make it to Andromeda or not? Like, there's
how many people still care?
Yeah. That's another thing. It's like, I mean, I guess I kind of do, even though I'm not too big on Andromeda. But the fact that they're saying, instead of doing DLC for this game that is more or less in the past now, we're going to focus all our efforts on this new game and making sure that it's up to our standards, unlike this past game just released.
It's kind of cool that they decided to come out and talk about that and talk about Anthem, because I know they have been kind of quiet for a while. And so I think it was them trying to reassure people who are waiting and watching, just give them a little reassurance that they're trying to make a good product.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I would. It's what I would expect. And Casey Hudson, he's like one of my favorite names in the game development.
Mm-hmm.
So I will more or less trust what he has to say. I mean, he made some of my favorite games of all time, and I don't know if I'm sold on the concept of Anthem being this like Destiny-esque type of game with a little bit more RPG elements, but I'm willing to look into it and keep my eye on Anthem. So, because I think BioWare still has life in them, obviously, because they're still working on a big project.
They're BioWare.
Yeah. So Anthem is supposed to, it was supposed to it's said to have been released in 2018, but
yes.
Word on the street is now that's coming in 2019.
Yeah.
And that's not much of a surprise.
Yeah, they decided to announce that really early in the year, probably to just like be transparent. And not because they know January from the beginning, people are building up hype around the games they know that are coming up this year. And I think they wanted to probably avoid a situation where people were building a lot of hype for Anthem. And then all of a sudden it was going to be like nope, sorry, next year, but like in June, Yeah. That would have been not a great scenario for them.
Yeah. Tempering expectations, I suppose.
So yeah. So just being real, being transparent. I wonder if we'll get any little teasers at E3.
Oh, I'm sure.
I wonder. I hope that they have something to show off. Even if the release window hasn't changed yet, it would be cool to see something new.
Yeah, I know Anthem was revealed at E3 2017, so I would expect to see a little bit more E3 this year, which is right around the corner.
Time moves fast.
Yeah, and this show has to move faster because we're taking our time here. But
we took a little time with PUBG and with Anthem. They're important topics, what I mean?
Oh yeah. We spent our time on the important topics, and we're gonna blaze through this one real quick because this is
a very silly piece of news here. Cliffy B claimed that Epic is hiring away members of his studio.
Oh snap! So Cliffy B took to Twitter to state his case or whatever, and saying that, hey, Epic Games, could you please stop trying to hire away my team? We just launched Radical Heights on UE4, Unreal Engine 4, and are really happy with how it's doing. Blazinski also said that there's room at this genre for more than a few games. Shake My Head or SMH. And we have plenty of ways to make it our own, but they may never see the light of day if Epic keeps doing this.
Twitter salt.
Yeah, there's some Twitter salt.
Some salty dudes on Twitter.
And there's more to this. Epic declined to make any statements to GameSpot in a request for comment, though Bosky programmer William McCarroll responded directly to Cliffy B's tweet by saying, with all due respect, assuming that Epic is one starting contact poaching is a bit presumptuous. We all had our own reasons for making the choice to leave Bosky Productions for Epic, and act like we are commodities being stolen is a bit hurtful.
Yeah, and it's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, and continued to say, we are people first and foremost, of course, because people are people.
Individuals making individual choices based on what's best for them.
Yeah.
Shocker. I haven't played Radical Heights, but I know you guys did on stream last week, or at least Eric and Ben did. What have you given it a shot?
I have given it a shot. I'm known as
the Battle Royale. Wait.
No, don't
let me break. Can I please?
No,
please.
Let's not.
Okay. With all due respect, I will not. But
I'm more or less known as the Battle Royale expert in the office, which isn't saying much.
Father of Battle Royale.
Yeah, sure.
That's a nice way to put it. They got a nickname for Michael here in the office.
We have nicknames for all of us in here, and but I have reviewed PUBG, reviewed H1Z1, and reviewed Fortnite Battle Royale, and put some time into Radical Heights. And I mean, it's to say it's an extreme early access. It's an extreme early access. So
there's no ladies in the game.
They're working on it. Apparently,
that's what they say.
Really weird, bizarre thing, but yeah. So the story of the day, I guess, is that there's some drama around Twitter that we are not going to get involved in, but we will let you know that it's happening.
It's happening.
That's out there. But yeah, Cliffy B isn't like any old developer. He is one of the key minds behind the Unreal series, and also one of the producers of the Gears of War franchise. So he ain't a nobody. But again, this is a bit out of line, I suppose.
I would say.
Okay.
So on that note,
this is a heavy story as well. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh man. God of War is almost out, but there are some things we're still unraveling about God of War, including the fact that the game almost didn't have Kratos' son Atreus.
Yes.
Now, God of War, if you've been following, has received high critical praise, with a lot of credit going around to the father-son dynamic between Kratos and Atreus, because that is the crux of God of War's story.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Sony suggested that Atreus' role be reduced or cut altogether due to the development cost of implementing him. Ooh, that is... that's huge. This is director Cory Barlog told GameSpot that this would have totally changed the game's dynamic, which is to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like removing like the second most important character of the entire arc of the story.
Yeah, of course.
So,
do you want to read this quote from Cory Barlog that he told us?
Yes, it would have been very different. The early phase when they told me, man, this might be too hard, too expensive, and we're already looking at so many challenges, it's maybe too much. When I went back and said, all right, fine, if it's not with Atreus, what would it be? And it would have been a very, very different game. The comparison I made was, all right, it's going to be All Is Lost with Robert Redford. It's going to be one character who talks to himself occasionally, but generally it will be very silent, and everyone will be talking in Old Norse. So that won't understand anything, so he won't understand anything anyone's saying. Sorry for the hang-ups there. He was saying it in his own voice, so it was hard to like mimic that. But basically, we would have seen a story where Kratos was essentially just not talking to anybody.
Yeah, he would. So if you're not familiar, he made the comparison to All Is Lost with Robert Redford, which is a 2013 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you consider how old Robert Redford is, it's a miracle that he's still acting.
Yeah, this is true.
But yeah, I'm lost at sea and I'm trying to find my way and I'm all alone. So this would have been a very different game, obviously, if Kratos is on his own trying to not get unlost.
Yeah,
I guess in the
Norse world.
Yeah, in the Norse world. So,
it probably would have been more reminiscent of an older God of War game in some ways, because some of the things that made this God of War so groundbreaking for the series, at least, is that the story was so unexpectedly deep and emotional, right?
Mm-hmm.
It got people in their feels, from what I hear. I haven't gotten to play the new God of War, but I did read our review. I've heard what everybody's had to say, and it seems like this game's getting people in their feels.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think now I have played some God of War myself, as I've alluded to many times before on the show. But yeah, the father-son dynamic in this game works extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether or not you sympathize with Kratos is a different thing, given his shitty history throughout the God of War trilogy, the original trilogy.
Michael Heim throwing Kratos no bones.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, this is kind of, if you look at all the reviews, it's kind of like this is an accomplishment in storytelling, being able to handle this very hardened figure who's just been like fighting and killing monsters and gods his whole life, and then trying to teach his son the ways in which he should survive and handle himself. That is an accomplishment. To know that may have not been the initial vision, or that could have not happened at all, is pretty crazy to me.
Definitely.
The fact that Sony was willing to say, okay, we're going to give you the budget and the time to create this, says a lot about, trusting developers and seeing their whole vision through. Because again, like what we got out of the story is that, budget constraints could have cut an important character in the story altogether. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, what the inner workings and Sony are like, but their choices produce some pretty great games.
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
I never regret buying my PlayStation. I've never regret purchasing a PlayStation. I love my PS4, and I'm really excited to get my hands on this game.
Yeah.
And to speak to what we were saying about the addition of Atreus, Rob Davis, who's the lead designer, or Rob Davies, I'm not sure how he pronounced his last name, but he's a lead level designer, and he opened up about the gameplay and storytelling opportunities Atreus added, saying that actually, like having Atreus be an expert in Norse language and mythology is awesome because you can do a whole other set of design based on what Atreus is an expert in that Kratos is sort of not.
Yeah.
And so it just opened up more gameplay and storytelling opportunities, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. So GameSpot, we'll have the full interview. We have a story right now focusing particularly on the battle to get Atreus in God of War, but we will have a full interview feature with Corey Barlog and Davis on the God of War, so that will be coming to the site in the future, so stay tuned for that.
And also we have a review that's on the site if you are curious to hear what Peter Brown had to say.
Oh yeah, and he had a lot of good things to say about it.
Yes.
Now the game is set to release on Friday, April 20th.
Yes.
So it's not out yet, but everyone's been talking about it.
Soon.
All right.
So this is our final story of the day. Something I'm very excited for.
Well, unless you're in Japan.
Well, should I say it?
Yeah.
So the Sega Mega Drive, the Genesis Mini has been revealed, and it will include many classic games.
Yes. So
I love me some old games.
Yeah. Old games are cool. I reviewed the SNES Classic. I like me
You
some
did.
SNES.
You did review the SNES Classic.
I do a lot of things out here.
How do you? So as the dude who reviewed the SNES Classic, how do you feel about this Mega Drive news? This mini Mega Drive.
It's cool. I can't say that I am surprised that Sega wants in on the retro hardware craze.
Yes.
But yeah, so during Sega Fest 2018, which happened Friday last week, so this isn't like completely like
it's not
all
super new, but
I thought we'd throw this in there since we had not talked about it yet. Is that they revealed that a Mega Drive Mini, which is a tentative title, is actually coming out in Japan though.
Yeah. But that means soon for us.
Is it?
Or never. It's one or the other.
Yeah. We have no details on whether or not it's coming to North America or anything.
Yeah, it means soon, in a few years, or never.
Okay, yeah, that's sure. If you want to cover all of your bases, I guess that's true.
I'm gonna put all my eggs in the basket of soon. I'm hoping soon.
Okay. Do you want to pull up the tweet from Sega of Japan?
Yeah. I mean, can you read this? Because I can't.
Oh well, no. Well, so this is what they tweeted. Well, they had a live stream in which they revealed it. It was all in Japanese, so I didn't get to understand it. But they did tweet this out, and there's a translation that roughly reads to. Could you pull up the quote? Scroll down. The tweet roughly translates to Mega Drive Mini, tentative name announced for 2018, so it's this year. While reproducing the design of Mega Drive, released in 1988, 30 years ago, it results in about the size of a quarter of the original Mega Drive. And you can enjoy it by just connecting to your TV. Details such as the specific release date and the final title will be announced at a later date.
Sega Fest also had a lot of other news that came out too, like last week, and we're not going to bring this story up, but Shenmue 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Some other cool things happened during that whole thing. So this was just one of the little tidbits that came out that we're excited for.
Yeah. Man, 30th anniversary of the Mega Drive, also known as Genesis here in North America. That's 1988. Man, I wasn't even born by then.
Yeah, me neither. 2 years shy.
Yeah, so that's our last story of the day, that the Mega Drive Mini is coming out in Japan this year, but who knows when we're getting in North America. And we have to wrap up this show because it's 11:30 and or 11:31. Dang.
Running late.
Yeah, so Tay is probably getting ready for to play some Pubg, so stick around for that. Also, he's going to be giving away codes to test the new map.
Yes.
OG Xbox games are out on new OG Xbox games are back in pat now on Xbox One. I saw Alessandro playing Panzer Dragoon Orta, and it looks crispy as hell.
Nice.
I gotta say.
Ooh, I like that word, crispy.
It looks crispy. Yep. New episode of Steampunks. Our friends in Australia, Jess McDonald and Edmund Tran. That is their new show. So there's a new episode out on the site, so you can check that out.
Yes.
Again, Yakuza 6 is out today. Hop on that. And yes, stick around for the stream.
Yep. Thank you, Michael.
From the bottom of my heart.
For
thank you all.
Having me on today. And tomorrow, Callie shall resume.
Yeah. So thank you to Matt Paget, Tony Wilson for helping us get ready in the morning. Thank you to Eric Tay for helping and produce the show. Emily Conti also helps produce the show. So thank you very much. And thank you all for sticking around, chilling with us, talking about all the news. We have fun doing this. And we hope that you have fun as well. Any last words, Sam?
I'm going to go try to figure out how I can play PUBG right now.
All right. Well, peace out, y'all.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a good morning.